My name is Gabe Buhler. I'm the instructor for the Grove program. So my family was actually super connected with Bushnell, so growing up, back then it was NCC, but growing up I was pretty familiar with it. Ended up here for college myself, for undergrad and master's program. Been serving in ministry for I think 15 years now, and then got the call to come back to Bushnell and kind of share some of what I've been learning in ministry with the students here who are looking to do the same thing. Teaching philosophy-wise, I tend to like to be shoulder to shoulder with the student instead of talking to them. I'd like to be with them, experiencing. In the Grove stuff, especially leading worship, there's a theological side of that we work on and we talk about, but part of it's also getting reps. The more you do something, the more comfortable you get with it, and so I enjoy any chance I get to lead worship with them is awesome. Definitely that side-to-side learning is a powerful thing, I think. When it comes to faith and learning, God's given me a hunger for learning, for experiencing new things. He's put different areas of interest in my life that light me up, that create a spark. And so anytime I can bring that out in a student or enable that or help that, it's an awesome thing. And so I think God, that creativity and that spark for learning that's in me is put there by God, and I think everybody has that. So finding a way to connect faith and learning together in a student, it's a powerful thing. Yeah, the two are best when they're together, I think. So for me in my life, I can speak to how worship ministry, music ministry has been a powerful thing. It tends to be when I feel the most connected to God. It also, when it's corporate worship, when we're singing together, I think it's one of the few moments in life where we're all kind of pointed in the same direction, which is an extremely powerful thing. So a student who might come through the Grove program, my aim in that is that they would come out with a theology of worship, of praise, knowing what the Word, what the Bible says about that, knowing how to practice that in their own life, and then also how to lead that. My hope is that if you end up in a small church somewhere, that you'd be able to lead just on a small team, or maybe it's just you on guitar or whatever, or if you end up in some huge mega church somewhere where everything's automated and slick, that you could drop in and serve there as well. So the goal is to be well-rounded and be able to serve God wherever you find yourself after you leave Bushnell. To make the most out of your time while you're here at Bushnell, I think you gotta try some things that maybe make you nervous. I know when I was here, at first I was pretty nervous as a freshman, and I maybe didn't take advantage of every opportunity, even things like beacon nights or group gatherings like that. I didn't go to all of them. I wasn't maybe at every chapel. I would take some off. And I think really the way you get the most out of it is, it's the same old thing that everyone says. You get out of it what you put into it. You don't really know what you're gonna like, what you're gonna dislike, what God has wired in you until you try it. I have the same conversation with my 6-year-old right now, and I know maybe that sounds weird to give the same advice to a 6-year-old and a college student, but I think it does hold true. Try things that you've never tried before. You don't know how God's gonna spark something in you, and I think he leads you from there. My mom always taught us growing up that nothing is wasted. So even if it's an experience that you're like, that wasn't for me, it's not wasted. It further hones you and pulls you towards where God's leading you. Thinking of service in my career, there's moments when you're on a praise team where maybe it's tempting just to show up, plug in your instrument and do your thing. But there's always those times before and after where maybe it's something as simple as helping the tech team wrap cables or whatever. Some of the best conversations I've had have been during those times where I stopped and put my own thing aside and took a moment to serve alongside somebody. Again, that shoulder-to-shoulder moment where you can serve and work alongside somebody, I think is pretty powerful. Yeah. I think faith is probably the influence in my role at Bushnell. Part of it is what I'm doing, the course that I'm getting to teach. Our goal is to lead the campus body and the churches that we are in, lead them in worship of the one who created them. Faith has to be a part of that. It's faith that moves us to worship, to sing. When we read the Word and it talks about praising the Lord in Psalms and making a loud noise, singing a new song, all these things, faith is at the root of that, yeah.